Right, first Avro Anson build update and a couple of little things to watch out for if you're going to build this kit. I am going to do a full build diary, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some snippets of the progress in between just to give people an idea. And my first tip is actually not to do step one first, because when we look at the instructions, what it's asking us to do is we build up this part and then that part is attached there in step two, and then you're adding this part, but that part needs filling, so you can see the extent of it. There is a little bit of wiggle room in it, tiny amount, but if you pushed it all to one side, you've got about 3/4 of a millimetre gap on that side. So when it's centred, you've got less than 1/2 millimetre all round, or it may be even less than that. But if you've put this part in, it's almost impossible to get in and fill that and clean it up. So the trick is to put this part in first, part C35, and glue it in and then fill it before you add this part here, which is made up of C5 and C9 from step one. So that's my first tip. Second tip is most of this is cockpit green, so there's bits that we can glue into place, but the cushions are black. Now these two, you can see I've glued those in. That's not an issue because you can get around that easy enough. Spray it all green, then put the black in, and the dials here are on a black background as well. But the two seats, there's quite a bit of cleanup on this bucket seat. There is a seam that runs. There's no seam at the back. It's quite well engineered from that point of view, but there is a seam, a join seam on the front that needs filling, and there's a little bit of sink on each one here. It's quite a thick piece of plastic, so you've got to sand that flush and you've got to do some filling on that. So before you add the cushion, get that all filled up, and that then goes into place here. Now for me, getting in with the airbrush might be a little bit problematic, so I'm going to paint these separately and then put them together. I think that's the best way, and I'm going to do the same with this. I'm going to paint this separately and then fit it. It fits with 2 pegs, the fit's really good, but you've got to do all of this black paintwork afterwards, and you've got quite a complex little frame there to navigate around. So we want to make sure that we've got that nice and crisp before we fit it. So that gets me so far up to step 8. I'm going to carry on and I'll give you another update at some point later on.